Hello and welcome to today's training. I'm so glad you decided to join us. How to grow revenues without spending more money. I'm your host, Ted Lanier. Nice to speak to your ears. My goal for you today is to give you a very simple process you can use to find unlimited revenue growth without spending more money on advertising. I've been doing consulting since 2004. And something I run into often is that people are trying different marketing tactics. And especially in the digital age, they're trying various tactics and they're feeling frustrated by the return on investment. I speak to people often who will say things like, oh yeah, we tried that, it didn't work, so we don't do that anymore. And so I really want to do something for you that gets your mind, if you're in that place where you want to grow your revenues, but you really don't want to spend more money, or you don't have money to waste, meaning you don't have enough resources where you can go drop 100 grand on a campaign and have it not give you back the return. So you're feeling, one, a little bit stuck. Two, you're feeling like you can't waste the money that you do have. Or three, you are just looking for something outside of just spending money on advertising to grow your revenues. So that's really what we're going to try and do today. I want to show you a simple strategy. And what I'm going to show you is the exact same strategies I've used advising well over 100 business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs over the last 16 years. And here's what we're going to cover: the growth triangle, which I'll explain in a little bit, how to find a never-ending supply of growth ideas, how to make a big revenue jumps quickly without a ton of friction, how to find hidden treasures in what you are already doing. A lot of you are already doing things and there's hidden treasure in there and you just need to look at them differently. I'll give you everything we go over today as a PDF if you hang in there until the end. I'll send it to you. You can have all the slides. There's going to be a bunch of stuff and it'll be really helpful. But the main reason there is that you don't have to take notes. I don't need you to have your pencil and paper out, except I would like you to keep a pencil and paper handy just for ideas. As we go through this little training, you're going to jump up, or some ideas are going to jump up at you. And I really want you to document those ideas so that you have them, so that you can mull them over. But I don't need you to take a bunch of notes. This training it's not for anyone who is totally content with where they are and is not looking to grow their revenues at the moment. If you are totally content with where you are, and I'm not even saying that condescendingly because I think it can sound condescending, like I'm trying to manipulate. I'm really not. There are plenty of business owners who, for whatever reason, they're not in a place where they want to grow revenues. Maybe the business is going through a transition, or it's new, or it's just stable after years and years of trying to get it to a certain place, and they really don't want to get into the growth phase. And all of that is good. If right now you are just content with where you are, you're not looking to grow your revenues at the moment, then this training is not for you and you should just save it for another time. This training is for anyone who is serious about growing your revenues, looking for better results, committed to growing and focused on the goal, and open to discovering new ways of growing revenues. If any of those four hit you, then you're in the right place. I really believe this training is going to totally impact the way you look at revenue growth. Biggest misconception about revenue growth is this: you have to spend money in order to make money. That is simply not true. I do not believe that you have to spend money to make money. If you're at a position where your company, your business is making money, even if you've got a business where it's just you're a realtor, you're a consultant, you do something online and you're like, hey, I'm making money, but I want to make more. I believe you can find an unlimited amount of opportunities without spending more money. So let's talk about the truth. The truth is this, and I hope you grab a screen grab of this slide, or when I send you the PDF, I hope you print it out. And just remember this simple truth right here, and that is this: there is an unending river of revenue growth, unending, if you know where to look. And that picture there is just a picture of a river that sort of goes on until you don't know when it ends. And the point there is just to remind you that there is an unending river of revenue growth, unlimited possibilities. There's opportunities all over the place to grow revenue without spending money. If you know where to look, if your mind is really looking for it, you would be shocked at how many opportunities there are every day that you just simply haven't recognized. And so hopefully today, this simple exercise will help open up that river of opportunities to you. So where do you look? And where all businesses find value is where I want to begin looking today. In the most obvious of places, and drum roll please, here we go. It's going to really rock your world. Where do you look? People. People are where your business gets value, period. Without people purchasing your products and services, you have no value financially. There is no real economic value for you if people aren't benefiting from what it is you're offering. And I think inside of people is where you'll actually find all of the revenue growth opportunities. It really is limitless. And let me explain a little bit more about what I mean. I call this the growth triangle. A triangle has three sides, and there really is only three ways to increase your revenues. And that's why I've chosen the name the growth triangle. The first one is more. More people, more customers, more clients, more consumers coming, buying your products or services. That's where marketing really comes into play, right? So more. The other one would be more per. So those same people coming, and they're spending more money for each sale. So you make a sale with the same amount of customers, but they spend more money. What happens? Your revenue goes up. That's pretty obvious. The third part of the triangle is more often. That same group of people, they're purchasing from you on a more frequent basis, and that increases your revenue simply by having that same customer base purchase more often. And the truth is, these are the three ways. One of the guys, after 16 years of doing this stuff, one of the guys that I have gleaned so much from over the years is a guy named Jay Abraham, and he really coined a lot of this. And it's just a fact. I've been putting this stuff into practice through a variety of industries for a very long time, and it is a proven fact, in my opinion, that these are it. That's it. There's only three sides to this triangle. It's either more per, more often. That is how you grow. I want to go a little bit deeper. Triangle side number one, as I said, is more. More customers, clients, or sales. That means you could also increase sales conversions. Let me give you three examples. Outbound marketing. I want to really highlight that because remember, this is the one. This is the one that you're here because that's not getting you the result or you're tired of spending money. So outbound marketing is definitely a piece of side number one, which is more. Another piece might be referrals. Referrals are an excellent way to increase your more. Sales conversions is a third one. There's many examples, but here's three good ones of more, just demonstrating you could get more sales from those customers. If you have 100 leads, you're only closing 20%. Get that up to 25, you just increased your revenue by 5%, or whatever the multiples end up being. Sorry, that's not right math, but you get the point. I crossed out outbound marketing because, again, today's training and really what I'm honing in on is doing things that don't cost additional money. And although outbound marketing doesn't necessarily have to cost money, for most of you, that's the paradigm you look at. Now, can I go across the street, knock on my neighbor's door and try and sell him my products or services? Yes. Is that outbound marketing? 100%. Did that cost me any money? No, it didn't. But for our conversation, most of you think outbound marketing, you think advertising, Facebook, Google, mailers, commercials, radio, TV, etc. So I'm trying to push that one out just for this training because I want to open up your mind to all of the other possibilities. Triangle side number two, more per, more revenue per sale. Upsells, an excellent way to get more per. Also added services. That's another way to get more revenue from those same customers. Increased retention. You keep them longer. That's more per. And also raised prices. It's right there. It's obvious, but instead of charging $10, I charge $11. I just increase my revenue by 10%. Creative add-ons, sort of like added services and upsells, but a little bit different in that you can come up with a single product and just come up with some creative add-ons to your product. This is especially good for those of you in the service business because add-ons are something that you can just create based on what you discovered the need of your customers are. So especially if you're consultants, if you have a marketing agency, if you're an attorney, if you're in the service industry, in any capacity, adding creatively to what it is that you sell is an excellent way to get more per. Triangle side number three, more often. Those same customers buying from you more often. A great follow-up strategy is one way to get them to come more often. Loyalty programs is a big one to increase frequency. Offering diversification so that they come back. They may come for product X, week 1, but product Y on week 2. And by having X and Y, you got them twice in 1 month. And so offering diversification is another great way. Rewards programs, which is similar to loyalty programs, but can vary, is another excellent way for you to tap into the triangle, the growth triangle, side number 3, more often. And so that is a really, I would call high-level overview of the growth triangle. More per, and more often. Now, here's something I need you to really own deep in your being. Please, if you need to get into a Zen-like posture, hamana, just remember this. You can literally spend the rest of time diving deep into each side of the growth triangle. I want that to really permeate your psyche and let it be something you believe to be true. Because if you believe this is true, then you will never again feel stuck. You will never again feel like you can't figure out a way to grow revenues because you don't have money, or because you're afraid to spend whatever money you have, or whatever the case may be. If you feel like, oh, geez, there's no way for this thing to grow, go back to the triangle, deep dive into each side, go deeper and deeper and deeper, and you will always find there's more opportunities, there's more ways if revenue growth is something you're looking for. So that's another really important slide. I'm going to say it one more time, then I'll move on. You can spend the rest of time diving deep into each side of the growth triangle. Today, I want to take you through a very simple exercise. There's many ways to explore the growth triangle, but I want to walk you through a simple process because I don't want to take all of your time today. But this one exercise, just one exercise, can dramatically impact your revenue growth. And the reason is because it will open up so many new possibilities for revenue growth that you probably hadn't seen before. And the truth is, it's right in front of your face in what I said a few slides ago, which is it's people. When you go through the ideal customer's journey with your product or service, and you really try and stand in a position of, I want to walk a mile in their shoes. I want to really experience my product or service through the lens and experience of my customer. And when you do that, if you take that stance through the lens of the growth triangle, you will find there are an unbelievable amount of opportunities that won't cost you money right away and that can really increase your revenues. But you have to take a moment and really walk through it. So I want to walk you through this. You can do this exercise with your team. You can do this exercise over and over. You can do it with just your customer journey. If you're trying to find out ways to be more efficient, do an ideal product journey or just go through the process of developing your product or service and find ways that you can cut waste. You could do it from an employee, go through your employee's journey and find ways you can add value and benefit to your employees. But today I want to focus on the ideal customer's journey so that you can see all of these ways that you can increase your revenue without spending more money on advertising. So the ideal customer's journey has 4 simple steps. Go through each step of their journey, look for hidden treasures, log all your ideas, but start with the ones that leap off the page. Number 3, build a process, and finally, test and optimize. It is so simple, but really, really powerful. Step number 1, go through each step of their journey and look for hidden treasures. Man, I love that. I love that. Hidden is my favorite word in that phrase. Hidden treasures. There are all sorts of treasures in each step, and let me show you what I mean. The ideal customer's journey begins with the very first interaction they have with your product or service, period. I'm talking about the first time that they actually are interested in what you're selling, not the first time they hear about it, because people hear about stuff all the time. I'm talking about the moment in which they are open to listening to what it is you have to offer. And if you follow that timeline all the way to the end, which is their last interaction with your business, whatever that is, whether that's because they die, because they move, because they simply no longer have need for your product. But I like to push it all the way to the end, because if you can start from the beginning and really follow to the end is where you will find a sort of unlimited treasure trove of value. And so that is the customer journey. We're going to go from the first interaction all the way to the last one. And what we're looking for is hidden treasure. And it may be referrals, added services, upsells, rewards programs, retention, creative add-ons. The point here and the reason for the silly slide is just to remind you that we're really treasure hunting. We're going through this journey and we're looking for the treasure. It's important that your mind is looking for that, because I believe that inside of each one of you listening right now, you will be able to discover all sorts of fun and creative ways that you can increase your revenues without spending more money, because you know your business, you know your customers better than anyone. And so I want you to go into this with the mindset of, I'm not just going through their journey so I can just experience it. No. I'm looking for the hidden treasures. First thing I want you to do is ask powerful questions. Remember this though. Do it with the growth triangle in mind. Let me give you a few examples, but you may come up with some better ones, but let me throw a few out at you. What is the current state of this person? How can I add value? What are they really looking for? Who else might be involved in this in their interest? What can I do to make it even more valuable? How can we increase retention? Let me hone in on a couple of these questions. What is the current state of this person? What I mean is, when they have finally decided they're interested in your product, what is their current state? Are they curious because they're going through a life change? Are they interested because something they were using is no longer good enough or it's lost its value? What is the current state? Another one, who else might be involved in their interest? And what I mean there is simply, if they have reached a place where they're actually interested in your product or service, who else is sort of a part of that process? Another one, what are they really looking for? Sometimes you're selling X, but they're looking for an emotional or a greater need than just what you're selling. And this is always a part of marketing and messaging, but just another great, powerful question. So here's a few. You might come up with some of your own. I know when I work with clients one-on-one, we ask tons and tons and tons of powerful questions. So it's really important. So what I want to do is I want to show you an example of how to go through the ideal customer's journey. But I want you to remember, although I'm going to use someone who happens to own a gym, just because it's the first thing that popped into my head when I was creating this presentation. But for you, whatever it is, just try and listen to the thinking behind the process and don't get hung up on these specific examples if you're finding, these don't really relate to my business. That's not the point. What I want to do is get you to think differently, and then you are a brilliant person. You've started a business, you've got it going. You, the brilliant person listening to this, you are the one who's going to come up with all of your own ideas. So let's start with just someone who owns a handful of gyms here where I live in Los Angeles, and that's going to be the example that I use. Once again, I want to just point out, we're going to start with the first interaction. So what was the first time they interacted with this? I'm going to ask this powerful question. What is going on in their lives right now that is causing them to be interested in your product or service? So in this case, the gym. So what is going on in this person's life where they are interested in joining the gym? Now, we all know the gym is typically one of those things we come in and out of for the most part. Some are faithful and God bless you. I'm one of those people who has really good months and not so good months, and it shows. So what is going on when you are interested? So I came up with a few ideas. So one, might be your birthday. I know I'm about to turn 40. I'm definitely in the gym more this year than I was last year. New Year's is a big time. People make New Year's resolutions. A relationship change. It could be good or bad. Maybe they're engaged and they want to get in shape, or maybe they recently got divorced and they want to get in shape. That could go either way. Moved. If someone is moved, maybe they're looking for a new gym because they just moved into your area. A few other ideas, special occasions. It could be a wedding is coming up and I want to lose some weight. A reunion's coming up and I want to lose some weight. Maybe my old gym, I quit. Maybe I'm looking to take up a hobby because I've got some extra free time on my hand, or I just want to, get out of the house more. Sports is another one. I know if you own a gym, I know that people come specifically because you have a basketball court or a racquetball court, so sports. But again, this is just me quickly, and I mean rapid fire brainstorming. What are some of the states of mind that people are in when they say, hey, you know what? I'm interested in joining a gym. Now what I want to do is just sort of dive a little deeper into each one of these. Who else is involved in these events or circumstances that might be a good strategic referral partner? This is such a powerful question you should ask all the time if you're looking to add revenues, because there are strategic referral partners all over the place if you know where to look. So let's start with the birthday. So you know that people typically are interested in your gym around their birthday. And so you start to think, hey, around a birthday, who else is involved in a birthday? And so I started to think, well, bartenders, if people throw parties or they go out to eat, it's restaurant owners, party planners, florists. Maybe someone goes and gets their hair and nails done because they're trying to look nice for their birthday night. Maybe go get your car washed. Maybe you hire a DJ. And these were just the 7 that I just came up with rapid fire. And again, that's just birthday. Let me go back 2 slides just to remind you. There you go. There were all these 8 that I came up with quickly. You're going to come up with a bunch of these, but so very quickly, it's just birthday. Here's all these people. Now, the next question I would ask is this: what offer could you make that would compel referrals? And right here, I really would like you to lean in and listen to this part. In this moment, this is not where people need to be cheap. So often I talk to people about referrals and they get so cheap. And it's bizarre to me because you're talking about adding revenue that you literally don't have and that you may never have gotten. And yet you're concerned, well, yeah, but if I give him too much, geez, I'm not going to make any money. I'll give you an example. I had a car dealership, he owned multiple car dealerships, and he was worried about giving mechanics too much money at first. Actually, it was a woman owner, and she was worried about giving mechanics too much money at first. So we sat down with a pencil and paper, and in 30 seconds, she realized how ridiculous that was. She was paying a commission that was somewhere, let's just say around $2,000 per car, right? Let's not write the math, but let's just call it $2,000. And so that's what she would pay out to her sales manager and to the salesperson, ultimately around $2,000. And so the thinking there was, well, what if you gave the mechanic $1,000 for every time someone's car broke down and they needed a new car? And he said, hey, you should go to such and such's car dealership. They have great deals and they're friends of mine and they will take really good care of you. And so if I give the mechanic $1,000, then I still have $1,000 to give to my sales rep. But the sales rep is getting a total give me because the recommendation's coming from the mechanic. And so the sales rep's job is so much easier. So she ultimately went to the sales reps, asked if they would be interested. And all of them were like, sure, it's a free $1,000. Sure. She goes to the mechanic and the mechanics are 100% on board. One mechanic after another, after another, after another. And I'll talk about her later. But all I'm saying is this is not the time to be cheap. I've got a buddy who does videos for weddings. And we were talking about last night how he would go to florists and he would offer them. We were just brainstorming literally, and he was saying, yeah, maybe I could give him $100, but he charges somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000 to shoot a wedding. And I was saying, why would you give him $100? No adult is really going to be motivated by $100, not a business owner. Why don't you offer them $500 plus tell them you'll shoot some video and make some good social media video that they can use for their marketing. And now that offer becomes so compelling that you really get a referral partner. You're not just looking for some crappy referrals. You want quality referrals from a strategic partner who understands your business model, who is really getting value so that you guys are partnering in this process together. So in this one, the gym owner example, I had a couple ideas. For example, what if you said, hey, to the bartenders, let's just start with the bartenders. Hey, I want to offer your customers a free month at my gym for their birthday month. If they're born in August and they're coming in to celebrate their birthday, I want you to tell them that if they come to my gym, I'm going to give them an entire month of free gym use to help them celebrate their birthday, because I know it's a new year and you want to kick it off by working out and getting in shape. And we just want to partner with you during that process in a free month. And then to the bartender, a free membership. Now, I want to talk to you briefly. Just listen to me, please. The free membership for the bartender. The cost to the gym owner is nothing. I mean, there's a little bit, but come on, let's all just speak like adults. I mean, it is nothing. Hey, I come use the gym, right? But a couple benefits. One, you get typically a bartender's a young, good-looking person. So you've got some young, good-looking folks up in your gym. Secondly, you're taking such good care of this person that they're going to talk about you just to their friends, right? Thirdly, You want them to feel like this is a real valuable relationship. And for a bartender, I bartended once upon a time. I know how much money a free gym membership would have been awesome. And so I get all this value. You're treating me great. Of course, I'm going to tell people on their birthday that they get a free month. And of course, I'm giving something to my customers they're going to love. So I can go to my GM at my restaurant, tell them what you want to do, and build sort of a program that just sort of helps everyone. And now he can offer free gym memberships to his staff, and then he gets to use it, and then all the customers. I'm just saying it's creative. It benefits everybody involved. It doesn't cost you one nickel to get the bartender in the door and the staff, and maybe they bring friends and they start sending their customers and the customers bring friends, and you're growing revenues by just, listen to me, by just one teeny tiny piece of this process of going through your ideal customer journey. One piece. We are still at the first interaction and just at birthdays. And then I just push that out a little bit further. Can you make birthdays part of your gym culture? Could you say birthday month is free for everybody because we want to celebrate your birthday? And so that month you don't pay gym membership dues. And can you put their picture up on the screens and say, hey, don't forget it's Brian's birthday this month. Happy birthday, Brian. Can you acknowledge them when they walk in the door? Hey, Brian, it's your birthday month, man. Happy birthday. Can you build part of your culture, the celebration of the birthday? And now the free birthday month and the membership for referral partners, I mean, all of this stuff, they start to play together. And you can see that with just one idea, I'm able to start to tie this thing around in a way that becomes super fun, part of the culture, will definitely generate more revenue. And we haven't made it but one teeny step on the journey. I just encourage you to think, really use that amazing brain that you have, be creative, and find ways that you can add value for everyone, your referral partners, the people that they're referring, and of course, for everyone that's using your products or services. Add value, add value. After you do birthdays, I want you to rinse and repeat. Go on to each one of these ideas. New Year's, sit down. Who's involved in New Year's? Well, let's think about it. A lot of the same people, right? Bartenders and all that. New Year's promoters. There's a lot of people who promote events for New Year's. There's New Year's events that are city run. There's New Year's events that are run by churches and by large organizations. Why can't you as a gym owner go to these people and say, hey, to celebrate the new year, I'm offering the first month of 2020 totally free to help you get into the new year with vigor and go after your fitness goals, lose that weight or get back in shape or whatever it is. But we really want to partner with you. Why can't you go to all of these committees and neighborhoods and churches and offer to them, hey, we want to partner with you. Give everyone that comes to your event a free membership for a month and you guys can come use it. Why not? Think about all of the good will you're going to earn from the community and all of those new customers. And then they bring more customers. And again, we're still just on New Year's. Relationship change, that one's weird because what are you going to go to a therapist and say, hey, if someone's suffering, divorce attorneys? I don't know. Not all of these are great ideas, but you're creative. Maybe you can come up with some better ones. Moving is a good one though, I think, because moving trucks, moving companies, apartment companies, if you are a leasing agent at an apartment building and you can offer to people who are listen to this. If you were an apartment leasing agent and you could say, are you new to Los Angeles? Come take a tour of our apartments and we will give you a free month at Ted's Gym. Or if you sign a lease with us, we'll give you a free month at Ted's Gym. I mean, that's a powerful incentive for them. And it's great for you because these are new people to the community, special occasions, weddings and reunions. I mean, party planners and anybody that's involved in those, wedding planners and photographers and videographers. Quitting your old gym, that may not work because I don't know how you do that. Maybe you get a list of people who have gym memberships that are older, or maybe you find online people that quit. That may not be a good one, but maybe you can come up with some creative. People looking to take up a hobby. I know there's ways you can connect their sports for sure. If you go down to a flag football league at the local park where men are playing flag football and you offer all of those men an opportunity to come use your gym, especially if you have a basketball court and you can go down to the park and you can find all the people playing basketball and just hand out, hey guys, come use our gym. We've got an indoor basketball court with air conditioning. I'll stop right here. We are still on the first interaction. we're still just thinking about strategic referral partners. And I hope you are already seeing an unbelievable amount of opportunity to increase your revenue. And we have not spent a nickel. I hope just right now, if you turn this training off, you would already feel like, oh my gosh, I have not even thought about all these ideas. These could totally help what we're doing, and we don't have to spend more money. I hope you got so much value from this one teeny part of the exercise that your creativity is flowing, you're getting your own ideas, and you already can think of ways you can increase your revenues. If we go down the gym owner example, down the timeline, I want to show you a few more. Maybe next they come and take a tour. Can you increase conversions by adding value to your tour? Can your tour be more customer-centric, faster, more intuitive, better than your competitors? What could you do during your tour that would really help you stand out amongst all your competitors? As the gym, I've got a million ideas and I'll give you one. When I walk in to take a tour of your gym, no one has ever asked me, number one, what am I actually looking for? Am I interested in racquetball, swimming? No one has ever asked me if I have enough time to really take a long tour. It would be great if someone would have asked me, how much time do you have right now? And I could say, I've really only got 15 minutes. And they go, you know what? We've got an abbreviated version of the tour. Let me give you that one. Let me customize it to exactly what you're interested in. And then why don't you tell me what your fitness goals are so I can show you around the gym and how I think the tools and resources we have here can help you achieve your goal. Can you customize the process to really bring value to me as a consumer, which can increase conversions? If every time you're given a tour, you're only selling 5 of those people out of 10, then why not push that to 6 or 7? You don't have to spend more money, but you can increase revenues just that way. And it just may flat out make your business better. Custom tours, airtight sales scripts. Scripting things is so important. We'll talk about that in a minute. Consultative approach to their goals. What are your fitness goals? How can we help you? You'll come up with ideas, but that's another example. Offer. They've taken the tour. Now you've got to give them an offer. Then they join the gym. What are the ways you can add value? They set their goal and they begin working towards their goal. They're taking classes. They're going through trainings and workouts. What can you do here? Stop right here and dig into these. Offer. How can I make my offer so compelling that more people say yes? What can I add to my offer so that I can get more money per sale? Can I bundle classes, trainings? Can I bundle things so that people can purchase when they actually join? They can make a larger purchase that brings more value to the customer. What can I do when they are setting their goal and beginning to work towards it to help them feel like they've got a real partner? I know most gyms, you walk in, you check in, you don't know anybody really, you go do your workout and you leave. Can you go next level? Can you know what my goal is? Can you make sure that someone's there to encourage me and root for me and help me get there? What about classes? Are there special classes you can do? Maybe you could add a cooking class for people who want to learn how to cook healthy foods or how to shop for healthy foods or how to go out to eat and still eat healthy. Maybe you can come up with special events. I think I have that one on here. Bam, special events where you say, hey, come to the gym. We're going to shut the gym down for 2 hours and we're going to do a happy hour. And I'm going to teach all you guys how to make cocktails that are low calorie. And I want you to get to know some of your other gym members because, hey, you guys are all a part of this community. I am going through this ideal customer journey and I'm just looking for ways I can add value and find more revenue. What about on their 1-year anniversary, their 5-year, their 10-year anniversary of being a member of your gym? What can you do to add value to increase revenues? Where can you increase retention, which means more money? What can you do that really makes them feel like they're a part of something? And then what about the negatives when they stop showing up to the gym? And this is where you start to lose people. Do you have a process in place where you're reaching out to them? You're finding out why they're not using them. You're encouraging them to come in. You're speaking to them like, hey, what can we do so that you come to the gym more? Because ultimately when you joined, you were excited and now you've fallen off. Do you have anything that you could do right there to increase retention? Think of it like this. If you're losing 10 members a month, but you increase your retention by going after people who aren't showing up and you go from losing 10 to only losing 5, well, that is a huge increase in your revenues right there. And all you did was be more intentional about your retention process. Contemplates canceling or has a life event where they are absolutely going to cancel. And then finally, they cancel their gym membership or ultimately they die. Well, what if when I'm about to cancel or I cancel, what if You called me and you said, hey, we're really sorry to let you go, or that you decided to leave. But hey, you paid for these last 3 months and you didn't use them. So what we'd like to extend you is a special offer. We want to carry your 3 months that you already paid for over to a friend or family member. If you refer a friend or family member, let them know they can come right now and they can use your 3 months totally free because you already paid for it. If there's someone in your life that you think is trying to hit the gym and could benefit from what we do here, we just want you to know your money hasn't gone to waste. You know how much credibility you would get with that person, and that it could open up all kinds of opportunities for revenue growth, that they would refer people from work or from their family life, and that you could see more members through a process that looked dismal because someone's leaving, but really you turned that into a positive. You added revenues or you added your credibility. I just want you to take this slide right here. I have seen this slide just right here. Just this little tiny, whoa, didn't mean to do that. This right here, just this little tiny slide. It's barely even 1,000 by 1,000. I mean, this little slide, this thing right here has millions of dollars in it. Millions of dollars. Depending on what your business, if you go through this and you look through the lens of the growth triangle, this thing right here can add so much revenue. And this is just one teeny tiny exercise. Number 2, I want you to log all of your ideas that just came up as you went through your ideal customer journey, but I want you to focus on whatever leaps off the page. And this part right here, whatever leaps off the page, this is actually really important. And I'll tell you why. Oftentimes when people are going through the exercise, they start coming up with 100 ideas and they're writing down referral and upsell and cross-sell. They're coming up with ideas of how they can add services and increase retention. And they are just going crazy. And then they look at that piece of paper when they're done and then they just get stuck and they feel like, what do we do? That's one way. The other thing that happens is people go for the idea that is more complicated than it needs to be because they think it has the most money attached to it. So they're like, oh, this upsell one, well, that'd be really easy. We could implement that tomorrow, but that's really only going to increase us 20%. If I build this added service, oh my gosh, we could 5x our business. Let's focus on that. And they skip the simple one. So what I want you to do is really get all your ideas written down, but focus on whatever leaps off the page. Leaps off the page. That's really important, and you're about to find out why. Number 3, build a process. I want you to build a process. So often you come up with these ideas, but people don't take the idea and turn it into a process. And here is something that is so vital. When you build a process, what you're actually doing is build a process to build processes. What you're actually doing is you are building the infrastructure on how we build processes. And it is my firm belief that the gold is really in the process. The ability to test and optimize is where all exponential growth is discovered. Yeah, you had a great idea for how you can make more money by adding a new service to your marketing company or by adding a new bundle to some of your legal services. And you are so on fire for that. So you just launch it and you do it, but you didn't build a process around it. Well, how are you going to test it? How are you going to make it better? You see, coming up with an idea is great. Building a process is better because now you can take what was a good thing and make it a great thing. You can take the components that are easily interchangeable and you can test them over and over and over until you find the best possible variation of it with the maximum result. I want to give you 2 small pointers. Number 1, please make these processes simple. Keep it simple, but make it very clear. The other one is a script. Script as much as you can. I find that scripting gives you all sorts of insights. So scripting as much as you can will help you to optimize. It'll also help you to implement something that is working successfully easier if you know exactly what the first person who did it was saying. I want to show you a very simple process because I want you guys to not be overwhelmed by the idea of building a process. I want to give you an incredibly easy little template you can follow to build a process. So right here, what I want to do is build a simple upsell process. Upsell process, let's say it's for the gym still, it's fine, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to turn the idea of upsells into a process. First, I come up with this point. I write it down with a pencil and paper. We're going to upsell on every purchase. On every purchase, our team will make at least one recommendation that aligns with the customer needs. This is your new process, as you're now having a company-wide process. Even if you're a solopreneur, you still need to build processes and write them down. So here you go. On every purchase, our team's going to make at least one recommendation. Okay, from now on, I want us all to take a consultative approach. We're going to ask questions and really listen so that the upsell comes from an authentic place of adding value. Step 3, product knowledge. Team members need to be very proficient on all product knowledge so the upsell can add real value. And finally, report and rewards. Please make note of all upsells so we can give a bonus to the team member with the highest sales and so we can learn from the successes and failures to make the process more effective. And there you go, folks, right there. Print that baby out, hand it out, send it as an email, and boom, this is our new upsell process. 1, 2, 3, 4, done. That's it. You don't have to turn it into a 500-page document or some long memo that everyone has to read. You need to gather the people around you that this will impact. You need to explain what your new process is, and then flatly, you need to do it. My belief is that it doesn't have to be complicated to be effective. Number 4, test and optimize. People determine value, so there is no substitute for real market testing. Nothing can give you better feedback than the people you are attempting to add value to. So take your idea, build your process, implement it, and then test. Right here, I use the infinity symbol, and on the left it says test, and on the right it says optimize. It is my belief that if you are an entrepreneur, a business person, a business owner, that testing and optimization should be an eternal part of your process. You should always be testing, and you should always be optimizing. Between the advances in technology, cultural shifts, everything is changing so rapidly. And testing and optimizing keeps you relevant. It makes sure that you're really staying in tune with your clients and your customers. And optimization, man, that is just a way to make things better. And more optimized processes help you. It helps your customers, helps your staff. Test and optimize forever and ever and ever. Amen. Just to review, the ideal customer's journey is 4 steps. Go through each step of their journey and look for hidden treasures. Log all your ideas, but don't forget, start with the ones that leap off the page. So important. Build a process. Don't make it crazy, but build it. And then test it and optimize it. This is such a powerful little process. But if you will do it, you will find all sorts of hidden treasure buried all over the place. I'm going to give you a couple examples. And the first one I'd like to start with is a high-end restaurateur. This restaurateur implemented an upsell policy, wrote a script for all servers to follow that included recommendations and upsells. The impact? He saw an immediate 20% increase. Immediate. He then implemented this process at all of his locations. And let me tell you, it was not a big deal. We looked at the books, we saw some deficiencies, and we watched the waiters walk around. Very quickly we realized, these guys aren't doing any upsells, no offering, no consultative approach to the process. Let's write them a script. They were young kids. Let's write something they can follow verbatim, make it really easy for them to give recommendations. And all we're talking about is a drink and an appetizer, then a salad with entrees, a dessert, coffee, like simple stuff. But he saw an immediate 20% increase. And when he implemented that process on all of his locations, it came out to a single process that increased his revenues by $1.5 million. Now that is a powerful increase from simply one process, identifying one opportunity, building one process, and implementing it. I mean, that is amazing, isn't it? Let me show you one more. A dry cleaner. implemented a curbside drop-off. He simply started allowing customers to text him when they were outside with a drop-off or a pickup. He bought a cell phone, he put it in the store, you text outside with your last name. He kept a credit card on file so that there was no transaction. But basically, the inspiration was we were trying to follow the Uber model. We thought, hey, the Uber model, if we could pull that into dry cleaning, what did Uber do? They just took taxiing and they made it more efficient. They made it more technologically convenient. So he grabs this idea, and that is going so well that then he adds another idea. He adds a weekly delivery service, like a paper route. He'd go to certain parts of town on a specific day of the week for delivery and pickup. You knew he'd be in your neighborhood on Monday. So what happened? All the neighbors started to put their stuff out in front on Mondays. He put a credit card on file. He dropped your clean clothes back on Monday the following week. But if you needed it sooner, no problem. Go to the store. You send a text message when you're outside. Someone from his team walks it out to the curb. You've already got the card on file. Bada boom. So easy. But of course, when the neighbors started to see clothes in the front, the other neighbors started to ask, hey, what's that? Oh, my dry cleaner picks up. Does he charge you an extra fee? Nope. It's just something he does. He comes once a week. Then he would get in really good with HOAs and with boards of gated communities. And next thing you know, he had customers flying out the wazoo. He went from 1 to 5 locations and a cleaning-only warehouse for deliveries. Those two processes completely transformed his business. He grew from 1 location to 5 and a warehouse that just handles the cleaning for the delivery service. So think about this. He had 1 location, now he's got 5. He also had to get another warehouse where they just do the cleaning for the deliveries. So if someone says, hey, I'm going to pick up, then he would send it to their location and they could pick it up. Otherwise, if they were just delivery only and never going to do pickups, that's fine. He would send it to the warehouse. The warehouse would clean it. There was no storefront. Customers didn't go there. It was just they bring in the truck. They'd empty out the deliveries. It was so proficient. So now he's making money from the cleaning delivery part. Plus he's got the 5 locations instead of 1. His revenue flew up. I mean, flew up so radical. And all of that because he went through the journey. He looked at the growth triangle and he made it more convenient for his customers. Car dealership, I had mentioned her earlier, but I want to tell you a little more. She created strategic partnerships. So this woman went out and made referral arrangements, like I mentioned before, with every mechanic in town. She paid them a cash incentive and gave them great deals on their personal cars. It exploded her business. Just that one strategic relationship caused a huge influx in new customers, which she then converted into more referrals. Check this out. No more ads. That's right. It transformed her business so much that she cut back on 90% of all of her advertising and invests heavily into building referral partners all over the city. Amazing. All that just from one piece of the growth triangle. The growth triangle is such a powerful tool. If you learn how to really hone in, and there is so much you can learn, you can go so deep. I mean, really, really deep to extrapolate so much value. But the growth triangle plus people, and I mean you and your creative thinking, plus your customers, really tapping in to what's important to them. The growth triangle plus people, that equals that endless river of revenue that I said at the beginning of this presentation. The growth triangle is a powerful tool. You can 1x, 10x, 100x, whatever X your revenue you're trying to do without having to spend more money on advertising. It really depends on how hard you're willing to dig into each one of the sides of these triangles, all the strategies and tactics that are available. Because if you are, there is an unlimited amount of potential for you. And if you feel like this is really speaking to you, you don't want to spend more money on advertising right now, you really want to learn these other ways that you can grow revenues. You're finding this is really connecting with where you are right now with your business, and you love all of the creative ideas, and you're saying, yes, 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 I want to go deeper. I want more. I want to grow my revenues. I love all this. Then I've developed a program to help you get as much out of this as humanly possible in the most convenient way I could dream of. So I call it the 30-day revenue growth accelerator. And really, it's a 30-day interactive coaching program where you and I are going to deep dive each side of the growth triangle specifically for your business. We're going to find exponential revenue growth strategies together. Exponential. And without spending more money on advertising, which I know I'm beating that drum, but it's super important that you remember that. We're going to make you a revenue growth machine. I really want you yourselves to grab this, because once you grab it, you won't be dependent on people like myself. If I can impact your thinking and transform your perspective, then for the rest of your life, you'll be able to find revenue and more revenue and hidden revenue and secret revenue and revenue no one else thought of all throughout your life. And it'll impact not only you, but all of the businesses you're a part of moving forward. You'll be totally independent and capable of growing revenues moving forward in your future. And that is the goal. Deep dive into the growth triangle, strategize, brainstorm, build processes, and here it comes. To build processes, we're going to build processes. We're going to actually build them together, because that's something that'll carry with you forever. We're going to do real market testing. You're going to take the processes, you're going to actually implement them so that you can learn how to test. We're going to optimize so that you can learn how to optimize. And it's going to all happen in 30 days. It is fast and powerful and the most convenient, mind-blowing way I could dream of after years of working on this stuff to help people like you who really want to go after it, but you're busy and money and all those things. Like, let's get into it with no excuses. I've made it super, super easy, super convenient. I mean, all of our sessions, all of our coaching work, everything is going to be done on your schedule for the most part. We're going to find ways to do it before work, on your drive to work, while you're at the gym, on your drive home for work. We're going to figure out a way for you to have zero excuses. It's going to be so easy, so convenient. There is no paperwork. I'm not going to send you a bunch of worksheets you have to fill out and workbooks that you need to go through. None of that. You don't need to do any of that. There's going to be zero paperwork. And here is a really important piece. It's 100% risk-free. You know, I have to drink some of my own medicine, and I'm always telling people, find ways to push the risk off of your customers and put it on yourself. So I'm going to take on all of the risk. And here's what I mean. I mean that you yourself are not going to have to spend one single penny until after our first session. That's right. You don't have to pay. I'm not going to send you an invoice. There's no money to exchange. I don't need your credit card number right now. Nothing. You don't pay anything until after our first session, so that after that first session where we are going to go deep on session number 1, if you don't already feel like you've gotten a ton of value out of it, and you feel like, you know what, this isn't for me, this is, it's not worth the money, or blah, blah, whatever it is, all you have to do is send me a text message or just tell me during the call, and bam, it's over. I won't even send you an invoice. We'll just part, and that is the end of it. You have literally nothing to risk. You know, most people would try and get you on a call and sell you the program, but I'm going to put my money where my big, and I know I talk a lot, my big mouth is, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get you on a call and try and sell you this program. Right now, you're going to make a decision whether or not you believe that making more money and building revenues without doing more advertising, like this model here, is going to work for you, and you want to test it out, fine. Apply, book your first session, and let's do it. Let's have a session. Let's see if the program itself is actually going to benefit you. And then you can make an educated decision. You know what? I can already tell this isn't worth the money or my time. And bam, that's it. You don't have to spend one penny. There is no risk. So there is no excuse. There's no reason for you to say, oh, I'm scared. It's not going to be worth it, or it's not going to work for me, or my schedule, or any of that stuff. I've removed all of the barriers so that you can simply say, yes, let's go after this and let's give it a shot. The 30-day revenue growth accelerator, it's easy, it's convenient, there's no paperwork, and it's 100% risk-free. Now, let me tell you quickly about the process. Number 1, you're going to apply. The truth is, I'm only one human, and I have other things in my life besides the Revenue Growth Accelerator program. So I only do a few of these each month. And because they're 30 days, I can only take on a few. I walk those people through their 30-day process, and then I grab another few. I already have a waiting list. So it is important that you apply so that I can make sure, yes, you're a good fit for me. And then I can tell you, I do believe this program will provide value for you. So you must apply. It's super simple to apply. I'm going to ask you a few questions. I'm going to make sure that we're aligned, and then we'll figure out scheduling. So that's next. My assistant will coordinate schedules so that this thing is super convenient. so that you have no excuses not to get the most out of it. And then our first meeting is going to be face-to-face. I use Zoom video conferencing. You can put Zoom on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, on your laptop. You can do it while you're on a plane with some headphones on or while you're jogging. I don't care if you do this in your car and you don't look at my face and we just talk. It doesn't matter to me. But it's going to be through Zoom so you can see my face and I can see yours. And then we're going to do session number 1. It's a deep dive in the growth triangle part 1, because we're going to go into part 2 in our second session. So we're going to do that. We're going to do our first session. Then that would be the one at the end of that. If you're like, you know what? I love this. Let's keep going. Then great. I'm going to send you an invoice. You're going to pay your bill and we're going to keep cranking. If you decide it's not for you, then fine. Just let me know. No invoice and you can just move on. It is so unusual that happens that I have no problem assuming all the risk myself. Again, it's a series of coaching and strategy sessions. We're going to deep dive. We're going to build. We're going to test. We're going to optimize. And it's going to be awesome. So let's talk about cost. The one-on-ones where it's just you and I and we go through the process together. The one-on-ones is 100% on your schedule, okay? It's totally tailored specifically to your current business goals. So it is about your business, what your revenue goals are. We go through the process with your business in mind. We talk about your business. We strategize. We come up with ideas together. We build processes together. You put them into play and then we'll optimize them and refine them together. And it's awesome. Now, the truth is some people simply cannot afford it. And so I built a group process. So in the group scenario, this way, people who don't have the money for the one-on-ones, it's no problem. We can still go through it. It's 5 to 10 people per group. Now, these are people that have already said yes. They're on the waiting list. They've applied. And once I get a group together, I either do them in the morning, during lunch, or after work so that everyone can be wide open. My assistant will coordinate everyone's schedules. We'll find a time that works for everyone. It'll be wonderful and simple. And then, yes, we don't do one-on-one coaching, so it's not all about your business, but everyone's business gets personal attention. And you'll hear stuff as I'm giving someone else, as we're talking about someone else's business, you're going to get a bunch of ideas and you're going to benefit from that. But it is a group and not one-on-one, so it is tailored towards the group. So that's just the main difference is scheduling and that it's not one-on-one attention. So here's the prices. Normally I charge 10 grand for the one-on-ones and 2 grand for small groups. But today, because again, I am doing my best to make this irresistible. So you're like, yes, yes, yes. Again, today, if you've gone through this training and you're watching this, then it's 50% off. The one-on-one is $4,990. The small group is $995 per person. And that's it. That's the fee. You pay the fee one time. After your first session, you get an invoice. You'll pay it before your second session. And then that's the end of it. Super, super easy. The 30-day revenue growth accelerator. It's easy, convenient. There's no paperwork. I've made it 50% off for an incredibly limited time, not to sound overly infomercially. I won't do it for 5 grand or 1 grand for very long. So I'm going to do this because I think this is going to help more people. Again, I assume all of the risk. You don't have to have any of the risk. So if you want to apply, I encourage you to do it right this second. It is so easy. And here's how you do it. Send a text message that reads Accelerator Apply to 818-770-2848. Send a text message. Now listen, you can also go to tedlanier.consulting and you can go through the application process right there. But I really, really don't want you to. So if you're old school and you want to go that way, fine. But please don't. It is so much easier if you just send a text message. Me or my assistant, boom, we'll send you back an application. It's like 6 or 7 questions. It's so easy. You're going to answer the questions on text message. Then my assistant's going to go through it. We're going to make sure we're a good fit. And listen, I'm almost done. If we're not a good fit, I'm going to tell you through the text message, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, and here's why. You can argue with me. People do. Well, I disagree with you, Ted. Here's why. And that's fine. But I'm going to give you my reasons why I don't think it's a good fit. If it is a good fit, then we'll coordinate schedules. We'll book your first session and giddy up, right? Because you're not going to see that invoice until session number 2. So there's nothing to hold us back. We schedule it and let's get started. Like, let's go. Don't you want to get started and grow this revenue? There's no reason to drag on this. You can go to the website and you can go through the application process there. It's just a simple Google Doc. I'll send it to you. It's like a survey. You answer the questionnaires and we'll reply to you that way. But Please, it's so much easier on my end, and it's so much easier on your end if we just do it through text message. So please try and just send me a text message. Okay, they fill up fast. The offer is great. There's no risk on your end. So text me right this second and let's get you on the calendar and let's get to work. Okay, have a great rest of your day. I cannot wait to work with each and every one of you and grow your revenue without spending more money on advertising. I hope this was helpful and I look forward to talking to you one-on-one. God bless. Take care.